Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. Not so warm currently, but it has been up until, honestly, a few days ago. Hold a second. That right there is the crawling space that I saw. I said that for my mum because she was talking about places we could actually go to, or what I can expect to see around this area. Because yeah, it does seem I'm in hill territory right now, which is not the original intention. We were trying to find parks or something that I could, do my last Walking Wednesday in Galicia in, and yeah, we found this one. We didn't account for the steepness of the climb, because I mean, what we've been doing recently has been, aside from, I guess, packing things up, clearing out stuff from my apartment, and going from place to place, just, generally spending time together, as well as, dropping off my dad at the airport today, because he had another meeting he had to attend to. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which is the best path. Other than those things, yeah, we've been, what we've done aside from those is visiting a few places that I've been intending to go to, but having not really done so, basically. So yeah, today we're in, supposedly we're in a town that I had heard of and I passed on the bus multiple times, but not really ever stopped in myself. So yeah, I won't say the name of the place, but yeah, I mean, what I will say is that in the place, I recognised a few of the names anyway, because there's a big statue, or like a big archway that says Metro on it. And one of the things about me is that I love the Madrid Metro particularly. But yeah, not only that, but also the statue talked about the station of Gran Via specifically, which is on, this is part of the Metro Madrid. And right next to that is an avenue that's called, no, it's a road that's called Rua Pio XII, named after one of the popes. But yeah, it was that's also a metro station, so interesting coincidence there. I saw the Pio XII thing on the map and I thought, okay, well, fair enough, it's a very famous pope, and yeah, it would make sense for him to be mentioned again. But yeah, no, not in this case. Because yeah, in like different towns and such, there are different streets that are named after like the same people. There's a famous poet in Galicia called Rosalía de Castro that has streets named after her everywhere, and the airport in Santiago is now also referred to as Aeropuerto Santiago Rosalía de Castro, so very relevant in that sense. But yeah, didn't realize this was going to be here, and I'm going to hopefully show one of the viewpoints once I get to an area that's clear enough, because you can see stuff down there, but not really, not very much. Also, we packed away the selfie stick, which is why I'm holding this my phone with my hands. You might be able to see I'm out of practice in that regard as well, rather than the selfie stick method. But yeah, I need to get out of here. Not of Galicia in general. I'm not saying I want to do that necessarily, but yeah, out of this particular space. So yeah, what to do. So I guess to go back to what I was saying earlier, yeah, so my parents arrived a couple of days ago, they were staying at a hotel in a different town I hadn't been to before, but I've now done so, in the opposite direction. And yeah, they've been helping out with all the stuff I mentioned earlier. And again, also spending time. It's like, oh, what's the plan for today? You know, aside from preparing these things. I was like, well, I mean, I can take you down the scenic route of Portugal, the one that I found while filming Walking Wednesday, in fact. And so I did. To use but one example. Okay, here we go. This is the view right here. So here's the thing. I imagined for a long time, having not really looked out of the bus too much, or if I had done so it was late at night, that more or less every town around here would be the same size as the one that I'm staying in. And I find that it's far from the case. They each have, far more, vastly spread areas and more features and everything than specifically where I was. Or at least the ones I visited this week that I've been like, oh, well, I should have not put those off. So that's an interesting thing. So yeah, I guess it is just worth, again, exploring the area. Even if the bus system around here is and has always remained a pain to endure. It also makes it much easier that my parents have rented a car and they've been, travelling around. The issue, of course, is that because of my legs, my legs, Cristo, I've they prefer if I'm at the front, which is where the direct blast of the AC goes. And as much as it's been boiling recently, it does feel some of the time like we are patrolling around in a moving glacier, But at least with like this time, I brought a coat to drape over myself, and also because we thought there was going to be rain, so I'm in long trousers again for the same reason. If I shut that off, there you go. I almost pressed the power button there, that's why I stopped. So that's why I haven't been around so much recently. And it has been rather shocked to the scheduling. So basically no more, I've also packed away my electronic stuff, so no more streams until I get back to the UK. So, but yeah, my understanding is that Ghosty plans to host a backup tonight, if we can arrange that and I don't mess it up again regarding notifications. Because I had a backup, I was going to do a backup from Emily 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago, and I was getting a bunch of notifications on that day of like, you've logged into such and such place, was this you? And I didn't recognize that at all. Because that happens a lot, especially when I was dealing with, logging in and out of the school computer every day. And, having to do that on different computers multiple times, that was always, an issue. But, yeah, this time I didn't recognize it, and I didn't clock on until I checked on Discord later that Emily was trying to once again log into my account in order to use StreamYard. So, yeah, I'm hoping I don't miss that while I'm filming. Because although Ghosty doesn't use StreamYard, Emily offered to host for that reason, so I don't know. It is interesting. I'm getting more confident, hosting streams outside of StreamYard, particularly. I mean, I've kind of had to, because one thing I wasn't expecting in the past, few days was, 2 sessions of DND in 1 week. I guess because we missed out a week last time and Aiden wanted to make up for lost time. But yeah, Mysteries of Occulta has been another interesting process that we've been undergoing. Because it's going through a little bit of an upheaval if anyone has seen the streams, you'll know that the first 4 episodes consisted of basically the same people, with one person coming in to play one of the NPCs. I forgot his name now. One of Aiden's IRL friends who was there just visiting. And then that kind of opened up the floodgates for more people to do some of the same. So yeah. But also Vin is now getting involved in trying to and has been dealing with combat sessions, particularly during the episode that came out yesterday, where there was honestly I think most of the episode ended up being a combat session at the end. But yeah, they've been promising, next episode is going to be, you're going to love this one more than the last or something. If you liked the Rat King episode, prepare for what you're going to see next as Vin gets more and more involved. It was supposed to be episode 6 that he would get the most involved, in fact, but last session was great that we leveled up according to Vin's combat difficulty that he'd set for us. But other than that, it felt more like a typical session than I guess episode 5 did, on account of one of the cast being absent. Honestly, having an absent cast member might have been my situation were it not for the fact that I'm the person who is in charge of hosting the streams, and I guess I have to look at Ghosty's process, because who knows what that might entail for the future. If anything at all, because honestly, it might not do any of those things I just said. Now it starts to rain. Here we go. I'm prepared. I guess I should have brought the umbrella out for the sake of protecting the phone rather than myself, which is why I should have left it in the car. Whoops. Hopefully this will not be too much of an issue. I am trying to wrap up stuff very quickly today because A, there's not much room to go anywhere here, and B, I've got a request to not take too long. So yeah, I guess in terms of are these episodes, this one's better than the original ones? I don't know. One of them, dealing with an absent cast member, not really something that could be avoided in this situation. But yeah, other than I don't know. But yeah, this last one, other than the combat, it felt more or less the same. Although I must say, my favourite part of Occult in general is, the parts where, as Ghosty put it in the last session, everything is run on bits. The world is built on bits. That's what she said. I do love that approach. Because yeah, they're now building like a whole pantheon and such and such going on. It's like I guess there's no reason not to do that, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. It does seem like there is I suspect someone particularly moving the strings out of most episodes that Aiden is concerned with, even though it's only meant to be a reoccurring thing, almost kind of like how BBC Sherlock tied Moriarty into pretty much every single case in one way or another, rather than just occasional ones that were not related. Which kind of felt like, it was a lot more fabricated than perhaps intended to be, if that makes any sense at all. Which I suspect it doesn't, because I didn't phrase that really well. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like for me, episode 4 is definitely still my favorite, but I was glad to return to a somewhat familiar setting and to have discussions, regarding some of the built-up parts from previous episodes, rather than feeling super episodic. I'm biased a little bit because they pertain to my character specifically, but I won't spoil that for those who haven't seen it. So yeah, I guess that's all I'll say for right now. Go ahead and see it on the Butter Bunch, if you feel so inclined. The last thing I'll say is that I had a little bit of... there's one other thing we've been doing this week, aside from looking for pizzerias on festive days. Oh no, sorry, no, two things. Festive days, I'll come back to that. But yeah, the other thing, the reason that I'm staying this long at all is because of the advent of choir rehearsals. Not the advent of choir rehearsals, the conclusion of them, I guess. The advent of the concert is what I meant to say in that situation. There's a car approaching very slowly up here, so I'm going to retreat this way. So yeah, I had a little bit of a scare yesterday because I got to choir rehearsal and the director said, oh, well, the students are considering changing the performance to the concert to next week because of their exams. And obviously I told my parents about this and they were not exactly happy that was what they were trying to do. But obviously from their perspective, they don't know about my visa situation, my flight bookings. The director himself actually today seemed to think that I was going to Madrid directly. I said that was my intended destination for next year, but we're not in next year yet. I'm going back to the UK. Obviously none of them have had to deal with, limited stay time in the Schengen area where they were born, so they don't need, obviously. So, none of that would apply to them in that situation. So, I didn't blame them for that, although, it's concerning today because we're obviously, the director wanted to clarify everything. He did say it's going to have to be tomorrow because of me, so, he did put his foot down and say, no, we're doing this when we said we were going to, because that's not fair. So, yeah, concert is still tomorrow, which is fantastic. So I've completed the last rehearsal. Technically, there could be another one at break time, but I imagine we'll be doing other stuff. And also that no one's going to show up for it. So yeah, he said the last rehearsal, basically. I don't know if you meant, just the last major group rehearsal or not, but the last rehearsal before tomorrow, because we have a rehearsal at 6, at the venue itself. And I'm wondering, because we performed in that area before, and I went there directly without going up to the school first, and and someone called me, saying, "Where are you?" And I said, "What do you mean, where am I? Where are you? You should have been here ages ago. I've been waiting for you." And then they all made their way down. So I'm going to have to make sure that I text the director in due time to see what he thinks we should do. So we've been rehearsing our exits, so it's not exactly like I talk to him super frequently, towards the end there anyway. Okay, so festive days. That's the other major thing that's been going on. 3 days in a row, there was several festivals. The Festivales do Cristo, basically, festivals of Christ, which you would think would be celebrated at a different time of year, personally, but I'm guessing they're trying to reclaim they're trying to reclaim the actual time rather than, I suppose, what the Christians did back in the day to the pagan holiday of Saturnalia and all that stuff. I don't know. So I'm going to sneeze. So yes, I don't know. But yeah, that was No, that was quite fun because, you know, the areas that were normally busy were vacant, and those that were normally vacant were busy with parked cars, people going back and forth, music playing until, you know, the early hours of the night. That's why I've been dipping out of streams, because most of the time they were still going, except for Monday, where I got there after 2 a.m. and they stopped. It was only 2 a.m. Come on, keep up, people. I mean, honestly, the one on Sunday was particularly fun because, for those who, you know, don't follow football, there was a match between Spain and Portugal, and you can imagine that, you know, living on the border between Spain and Portugal, people would be interested in the outcome of such an altercation. So they had a screen, a big screen, projector screen, towards the side. And by the time that we got there, it was they got into additional time, which meant that the band that was supposed to play and, you know, get people excited and, you know, dancing and whatnot, were having to contend with the match. You know, they kept on trying to be like, you know, come on everyone, let's dance, what's up, bailar, blah 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 blah. But they were tying it into the footballs, like goal, 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 which was really funny when they were doing the penalty shootouts, and they started doing goal, goal, goal for the Portuguese scoring. So I don't know. They couldn't see the screen. I guess they had to guide themselves by those crowd reactions, and I guess they didn't inherit my grandmother's talents regarding such matters. Not the one that I normally talk about, the other one, different other side of the family. Because my dad growing up lived next to a stadium. Again, won't say which one, even though moved by now. But anyway, but yeah, because of the crowd reactions, my grandmother was apparently able to interpret exactly what had happened in the match, like right down to like what kind of play it was, without being in the room, because she would be, I guess, you know, busying herself elsewhere at the time when matches were on, and she was like, oh, did they, oh, was it offside again? Or, oh, I guess they missed the corner shot or something like that. Which just shows you, the more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. I don't know. Maybe in the age of VAR, that might have been different for her if they analysed more closely than the crowd was able to. But, you know, things were as they were in that sense. That is one thing that did, in fact, not stay the same. I don't know. That's a fun idea. It's like human beings are so predictable sometimes that, you know, someone could just like passively pick up the skills required to identify such predictions. Or sorry, to make such predictions, I should say. Once again, just checking to see what kind of area I'm dealing with here. Okay. Moving on. And then, you know, the Saturday was, you know, night before my parents arrived, so that was just me after stream, listening to this one group who happened to play some songs that from a CD album that we actually got like years ago. My dad got years ago from somewhere, and we've been playing ever since. It has become my favorite band, actually. But yeah, and the person singing that kept on skipping ahead in the lyrics by accident, realizing his mistake and having to correct himself mid-performance in one of those, you know, the show must go on type of situations. And I was of course, you know, yelling the lyrics and such. But, you know, as much as any of them wanted to say things like, "Oh, you know, come on, we got to you know, show some more excitement. Like, I can't hear you. You know, name of town, come on, let's make some noise." Like, we were making noise. The problem was their music and the amplifiers were so loud that any noise we were making in the opposite direction towards them was being drowned out by what was coming from them. So I was singing at the top of my lungs, and it was almost like no sound was coming out. So it's like, you know, let me hear you, I'm trying. You know, I guess that's it. Very abridged thing. I know it's not the shortest Walking Wednesday, but this kind of thing is something that I would normally take. I would normally take 40 minutes to get through rather than 24. So I think I did, or 25 now. So I think I did rather well in that regard. And yeah, I guess this is the end of the, well, not the Galician Walking Wednesday in general, because we're going to be back in, very shortly for the usual Carnota time. That part of summer remains the same. But yeah, we do have a little bit of the UK time and events to get to before that happens, but I will tell you all about that next week, naturally. So yeah, I guess for now I'm saying goodbye to Walking Wednesdays as a resident of Galicia. Definitely been a very fun way to wrap things up, or just a general thing of, I guess now I can definitely conclude that every single week was different and something was always happening. In the case of last week, multiple somethings. But if I could say something, even if the town is super small compared to everything else around it, I can absolutely say with confidence that it was never ever boring. So yeah, Language System program, very enriching experience, even if you happen to be familiar with the culture already. So take that for what it's worth. I could have had that as my final wrap-up thoughts in the video they asked me to do, but never got round to. So yeah, I'm saying it here for all of you who actually probably care a great deal more what I have to say in terms of the way I want to say it. So yeah, adios Galicia, por ahora. That's goodbye Galicia for now. And to all of you, please leave a like or dislike, because your opinion matters. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And on that note, until next time, farewell.